Hi Emma, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me today for Keep Cardiff Live. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, good. Navigating the crazy world, as I suppose you're finding as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know you've had a really busy week, so yeah, thank you for taking the time out to talk today. So I just want to start with a bit of a cliche question, but one that I feel can be quite important. What was your inspiration for getting into music?
Honestly, I don't really know. People always ask me this, and I'm like, I have no idea how I started, to be honest, because I guess I started when I was like 7 or 8, and I had like hearing problems as a kid, so I was completely tone deaf and whatever. And then I thought it would be a great idea to learn how to play the flute, which no one was very happy about, but I wanted to do it, so I did. And yeah, I guess it sort of went from there. It like tuned my ear. I can't play the flute anymore. Like, full disclosure, I'm terrible. But it taught me how to sing, and I don't really know how. But then ever since then, I just carried on writing songs and was encouraged to do so. So yeah, I'm not really sure how it started. It just sort of happened.
So did you never have any like training or anything? Did you kind of just go into it a little bit and then do more of the training and stuff later on?
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I just at primary school thought it would be really cool to be a flautist. Don't know where I got that from, but yeah. And then suddenly my parents realized, oh wait, she can sing. So they got me singing lessons. I took guitar lessons when I was like 14, 15, after like teaching myself the basics and stuff. And yeah, that's it really.
Oh, that's cool because I'm one of those who, when I started out with singing stuff, I very much needed the training, as my parents encouraged. But yeah, it's really cool when you can just kind of get there on your own, and I guess that kind of shows your love and your passion for it most of the time. Um, so you're on your final year, aren't you, of studying popular and commercial music at USW? Have you found that your course has helped influence you in any way or changed your career focus at all, as opposed to what you were planning before?
Yeah, well, I never really had a plan before, so there's that. Yeah, I sort of came to uni just like, well, I like music, let's do it. I don't really know which area I wanted to go into. And through coming to uni, I've discovered it's songwriting because I'm all right at that, I think. Um, so yeah, I guess just sort of getting the training, like the basics on how to write songs. I mean, I already wrote songs I've been writing since I was 11, but they were really bad. So it's gotten a lot better over the past 2 years. So I'll give them that. But also like being around other students, collaborating with all these people, my style has changed drastically. So, and like for the better as well. Like it's definitely a good thing. But yeah, it's changed a lot. So yeah.
So to those who haven't perhaps listened to your music before, how would you describe your style now in terms of music?
Um, Really bitter, I guess. It's sort of it's bedroom pop, but it's cheesy, it's fun, it's I don't know. I like being slightly angry, I guess that's what it is. So yeah.
That can make for the best music. Sometimes I think it was your song "Make Me Fall" I heard on Spotify. I really liked that. I was a big fan of that one. I
Thank
found,
you.
yeah, I really like it because I know that when I've sort of tried in the past the songwriting, I realised maybe I should leave it to other people. But no, it's like, yeah, amazing to hear other people and see what you can put together. And I suppose, especially at the moment, because I suppose things have changed quite a lot for you after the year, I guess we've had. In and out of lockdown, I suppose you've had to move back home as well at points. And how has that impacted your process or your creativity? Because I know I can speak for many, including myself, when I say motivation slipped a bit for me in lockdown. But I suppose it did kind of offer an opportunity to be more creative. Did you find that, or did you find you struggled in any way?
I think I'm one of the lucky ones when it comes to that, because I've like mostly lived by myself when I've been at uni, so I'm used to not really seeing people and that kind of thing. And lockdown for me was actually a really positive thing. Like I hadn't released anything, well, I had, but not anything good, before the lockdown happened, and I thought, well, I've got nothing to do. Let's make the most of the time. So I wrote an EP and I released that, and then BBC Introducing happened, all these record labels wanted to sign me. I was just like, no, but still, it was nice to be asked. Um, and yeah, like I've written so much in lockdown, more than ever before, and somehow I'm still motivated. So I don't really know. Like obviously it's affected other people, and yes, it's been a little bit depressing, but I am the kind of person that will use that instead of dwell on it. So yeah, it's actually helped me quite a lot, which is good, I guess, as much as I want the world to go back to normal.
Yeah, it has offered that opportunity, I guess, to just kind of give a bit more time to stuff you probably would perhaps wouldn't have before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that in terms of live music, that's definitely something, you know, I'm keen to get back. I'm sure you're keen. You know, I had all these concerts booked, and obviously they're just being postponed and postponed and postponed. But you did take part, and I know you helped create the Immerse Festival, which Keep Cardiff Live sponsored earlier in the year, and it was an amazing event. I really enjoyed just tuning in, and it was, in a way, it was kind of nice just to be in the comfort of your own home and watch all these acts, as much as I would have loved to go there live. But I think it definitely brought a little bit of positivity into the start of the year, and it was great. How was your?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, good.
I mean, just immersed in general, like, yeah, it was nice to be in the comfort of your own home. Like sometimes you don't want to spend all day at a really loud festival. But for me, working behind the scenes of it, it was actually, I got to experience like both sides of it, because we were there when we were filming it, and that was like 3 days full of free gigs, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, because if anything, I found I was probably paying more attention to people, like, because that's what I had to focus on. I wasn't talking to people, distracted. And yeah, I found it was a really great way just to actually focus and go, oh, wow, like,
yeah,
being lost in it.
I know, and we reached so many more people as well. Like our audience is huge, so that's a bonus in a way, I guess. Yeah, as much as we didn't get like the full gig experience, we like gave these artists like a much bigger platform than we could have done before. So that was good.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you find, like, in terms of the planning side of things, did you find it a lot harder to do it virtually, or was it more interesting and gave you a few more opportunities, like you said, or you know what?
Honestly, I think it would have been hard anyway, obviously, because it's a festival and it's a bunch of students, and you're gonna butt heads, you're gonna have problems, you're gonna have people not pulling their weight, and we did. Yes, it was a little bit harder, I guess, not being able to just like go and shout at people in person and make sure they got on with it. But we were very organized. We figured out ways around most of the problems we came about, and since everything was online anyway, most people were like more inclined to help us because there wasn't much going on at the time. So I guess that was useful. But yeah, it was a challenge, but paid off in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was it was really successful, and I know I even got my family sort of to watch it, which they wouldn't have done normally. Obviously, they would have with me in Cardiff. So yeah, I think you definitely opened up to more people, which is part of the positives, I guess, of everything going virtual. But I suppose in general with the music scene, it's been harder for, you know, the music industry and people within it in terms of, you know, live music and those who made their money solely that way. And you know, there's been a lot of debate as to how much venues and artists have been helped during this pandemic. How fairly do you think sort of the arts industry has been treated, and do you think, you know, there are ways around, you know, the challenges we've been faced with, and it's going to be an easier or harder recovery when we come out, go back to normal?
Yeah, I mean, I guess people within the arts industry have done everything they can. Like, obviously there's not much we can do, and yes, there's the whole politics side of it that I try not to get into because it's just exhausting, but I guess we're doing all right, like, in the grand scheme of things. Obviously venues are closing, people are losing income, which is extremely depressing, but there is a pandemic going on, so I'm like, ugh. But I mean, with stuff like Immersed and like the rise of live stream and stuff, I think that's a whole new avenue that the music industry hadn't explored before. And now coming out of the lockdown with like the stuff we've created like during it, as well as the ability to actually live stream gigs and stuff like that. And I mean, you saw Immersed, it like was a very high quality event. Like, doing stuff like that, I think, is actually going to help us come out of it. And it's something that I know Immersed in general and the popular and commercial music course, they're going to keep in mind for next year, even if things do go back to normal, because it is actually a benefit. So as much as, yes, it sucks and it's really, really hard, I guess we've got some new opportunities that have come out of this time that we can take forward into the future.
Yeah, because I mean, I can sort of see things staying virtually, like you say, even when things are back to normal, sort of utilizing things we might not have explored before, because like you say, families and other people who may not have been able to get to places, especially like with Immerse, can watch things at home, so it sort of, yeah, will open up perhaps. But yeah, so like you say, you've had a few songs you've written and released on Spotify and YouTube, and I see that, you know, you regularly post videos on social media. And have you got any, you know, plans to do a full album? And has COVID had an impact then on maybe schedules, or how you see it changing? Maybe slightly different to what plans you had before?
Well, I'm currently working with a producer on my next single, which, if all goes to plan, maybe will be out at the end of April. So I'm not going to say any more about it because it's all a big secret. But yeah, and there is an album in the works, very slowly. We'll see if that gets released anytime soon, but there is an album in the works. It is my plan. We'll see. Obviously, not having access to studios and stuff like that has been kind of difficult, but yeah, I'm luckily working with an amazing producer. His name's Ollie. He's my friend. He's on the course as well. Yeah, luckily working with him makes it a lot easier. He knows what he's doing. He's very clever. So we're making it work. It's a slow process, but we're getting there.
Sounds exciting. Sounds things to look forward to there then. Yeah, because I think it was on your Instagram that you had a makeshift studio. Is that at your house?
Yeah. That was at Ollie's. He has this attic room, so it's like a really dead sound and it's quite useful for recording and.
Yeah, so you found, so I guess, well, you've found different ways, I guess, to kind of record stuff at home. But,
Yeah.
you know, do you think this will be something you keep, you know, in the future? Maybe if, you know, even if things are back to normal and you can go to the studio, do you think you want to work a bit more at home?
Well, I mean, I've recorded most of my stuff at home anyway, apart from my debut single and Make Me Fall, which I recorded in the studio. The rest of it has literally been in my bedroom on my rubbish little mic, and then Ollie's just like done his producer magic to it and made it sound way better than it actually is. But so I kind of prefer working by myself anyway, and since like the genre is sort of like bedroom pop, it works. It doesn't have to be perfect, and because a lot of my stuff is really electronic as well, you can do all that on a computer. You don't need a full band or a studio, so it's a lot easier for me than for other people to work by myself just on a Mac. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get back into the studio just because it's a nice vibe, you know, it's a fun way to spend a day. So yeah, but I will probably continue working by myself just because it's cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely always one of the benefits, isn't it? And yeah, so things have kind of been okay and good for you, actually, if anything, not maybe perhaps a little, worked in your favor a bit during,
A bit.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad, but it's actually been quite helpful for me. Like, obviously, I wish there wasn't a pandemic going on, but if there wasn't a pandemic and I wouldn't have written that EP, I wouldn't have been on BBC Introducing, and everything that's happened for me in the last few months wouldn't have happened. So I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, you've got to look for the silver linings, I suppose, especially with something like this, and you kind of need all the positives you can get. So it's always good when something, has come out of it that might not necessarily have done in the first place. So yeah, because you've probably met and worked with, some experts in the industry and learnt a variety of different skills and tips and insider info and stuff like that. But what would you say the best advice is you've been given within the industry, and one that you've sort of taken forward?
Okay, best advice I've been given. Well, I guess just in general to apply to any musician ever. A couple of years ago, I think maybe last year, I can't remember. Time is non-existent anymore.
Yeah,
But
time's relative. It's
I don't know what day it is, honestly. But a couple of years ago, Soon Festival did this conference thingy that I went to, and they had some tips for making it in the music industry. And the best one, which I have carried and tell people frequently, is simply don't be a dick. Like, honestly, the best advice if you want to make it in the music industry, just don't be a dick. And I think that sums it up, to be fair.
It's pretty sound advice there. Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, because I guess, you have to, I guess, adapt quite quickly in the industry a bit. If you get presented opportunities or to work with different people, you don't want to be making things awkward, I can imagine. And yeah, just, I guess, taking every opportunity you can get. So yeah, so if you could say, we're in a normal world and you had the opportunity to collaborate with anyone, big or small, local or international, who would you want to work with? And why would it be someone sort of maybe like opposite to your music to kind of mix things up, or someone similar?
I would love to work with, it's never going to happen, but I would love to work with Hosier. Like, what a songwriter. His lyrics are just like, they baffle me. I don't understand how people can do that with words, but it's amazing. And it's a very different style to my kind of stuff, but like in the background, like aside from what I release, I do write folky, depressing stuff. I just don't release it for some reason, but we'll see. I might. But I'd honestly just love to. He's just amazing. I'm slightly in love, and that's probably why.
Yeah, no, I totally see that. It's again, yeah, like you say, it's one of those, like, how can you write that? I kind of see these people write these things, and I think, I look at the stuff I try to do, because I've never done it seriously, just as a hobby, but I sit there and go, yeah, leave it to those who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you mentioned, some different styles you're trying, a bit of folky and stuff. Do you think you will kind of at some point go, are there any other genres you'd like to branch out to, or do you think you'll kind of stick with what you know, or just kind of experiment a little bit?
I mean, I've been in all kinds of bands, to be fair, just like through uni and stuff. I'm currently collaborating with a few people. I'm on like a hip hop record that will be released June, I think, something like that. There's a dance track that I've got vocals on, stuff like that. There's an indie track with a guy that might be out soon if we get on with it. But yeah, I mean, I was in a pop punk band in first year, so that was interesting. I've done like funky stuff, like Wolfpack covers, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I've done a lot of different styles, but I always come back to the cheesy, the fun. I don't know why, but I love it. And it's just the easiest to write in. And I mean, I've been experimenting a little bit with it. There's different hints of different, how do I put this without giving away the entirety of my album? Cultures in my songs. So yeah, we're working on integrating a little bit. There's a couple of really sad ones as well, which I haven't done before. So we'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, a little sneak peek of what's to come there. So, yeah, because I guess, you know, it's all about experimenting and kind of trying new things. And you know, you mentioned you play guitar, pretty far better than I do, as a guaranteed fact. But you know, do you find that, you know, when you're writing, sort of it's the words that come to you first, or you just kind of sit and have a play, see where that goes, and then kind of add on the words afterwards? I don't know, do you have like a specific way?
It depends what kind of song I'm writing, to be fair. If it's one of my slow, sad ones, which I've been writing a lot more of recently, it's guitar first, and then melody, and then words, usually. Occasionally I'll come up with some amazing lyrical idea, stick it in my notes, it will sit there for months, and then I'll be like, oh, that fits here. So that happens quite a lot. But if I'm doing like one of my like more poppy, electronic-y kind of things, it's go in Logic, sort of just scribble on the piano roll, see what comes out. Then lyrical concept, and it's all over the place, my writing process, honestly. I was thinking of making a video about it because it's hilarious. There's a lot of swearing and crying, but it's amusing. It might be entertaining for some people, but it really, really depends. So, and it changes every single time I write a song, so I'm no expert, but yeah.
Definitely, I think that'd be such a good idea, because I think a lot of people, you know, wonder what goes on like behind the scenes, and I know that I quite enjoy, you know, seeing people's process and how songs come into fruition. So yeah, I think that would be quite an interesting thing, you know, for people to see. And I guess it can be quite, you know, a mix, like you say, like things are a bit all over the place, you know, when it comes to writing. But sometimes, you know, like the messiest concepts make the best products in the end. So yeah, so do you sorry, do you...
Oh, it's all right, I just said I might do it.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be a great idea. And you know, so you've talked about you know, if you could, you know, you like Hosey, and you think his lyrics are good, but do you think you've had any specific influence from any other bands, genres, artists, or have you kind of just gravitated towards, you know, poppy bedroom songs and as a way of something you like? Or were you particularly, you know, was there a specific song you heard and was like, you know?
I think Dua Lipa was a big one. Her song, I don't give a, you know, that word I probably shouldn't say on camera, even though I said dick earlier, but whatever. Yeah, her song really kind of got me into the whole the bitterness about it, and that was written by someone called Skylar Stonestreet, who is also a musician, and is releasing music under the name the Sunshine State at the moment, I think. And she's amazing as well, and her kind of like songwriting style, really odd topics, but it's really cool, that kind of stuff. I guess, yeah, there you go, that's my inspiration.
Yeah, no, I've become sort of a recent, I'd say, more Dua Lipa fan. I'd say I wasn't, you know, I was a bit skeptical at first. I don't know, maybe, but her latest album I really enjoyed. And again, I was meant to her and Cardiff, but who knows when that will happen. Were there anyone you had like planned to go see before this had all shut down?
I am really awful when it comes to going to like big concerts. I have like issues committing to buying tickets. I don't know why. There's something wrong with me. But there's always something I want to go see. Like that Dua Lipa concert. I'm like, yes, I wanted to do it. And then I waited too long because I was like, oh, do I have the money? I don't know. And then it sold out and I was like, oh, well. And I do that every single time, honestly. So I spend a lot of my time spontaneously going to gigs. So if I'm just, well, not anymore, obviously, but in a normal world, just out and about in Cardiff, you hear music playing, like, oh, let's go in. And I've discovered like amazing bands that way. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally relate to the, commitment of buying a ticket. I think the problem is once my loan comes in, I'm like, oh, that's fine, I'm rich now. And that's when my tickets tend to get bought. But I do, unless I have some encouragement from friends, I do struggle to get on with it because I'm like, oh, it's too far, too much money. So I think you can discover some like the best singers, artists, bands, like they're on your doorstep half the time. You don't need to go and pay £80 to go to the Motorpoint Arena or the stadium. Obviously, great bands to see there, but yeah, I think sometimes you can really find like hidden talents. Because have you gone around the sort of live lounges or open mics? Have you found that scene, or do you tend to do more organized gigs?
Well, I wasn't really gigging at the start of lockdown. It was kind of funny actually. My song "Make Me Fall" that came out about 3 days into the national lockdown, which sucked. And we had all these gigs planned, like release gigs, and obviously it was just like, yeah, you're not doing them anymore. And since then I've released so much that there's no point rescheduling them because I'm not even sure I like that song of mine anymore. So anyway, but I used to do the open mic at Porter's quite a lot because I used to live around the corner. But since then, like, nothing really.
Yeah, it's, I guess, everything kind of dried up a little bit. So, because do you have plans, do you think, after all this? Do you want to, any maybe virtual stuff you're putting together, or do you want to go back onto the, live scene, like in-person scene more after the lockdown?
Well, I did have a gig booked in London in October, and then my guitarist got coronavirus, so we all had to self-isolate through the gig. That was like in the brief period where everything sort of felt a little bit normal and everything was happening again, and then it stopped. So there was that, which was a disappointment, but oh well. I've done a lot of live stream gigs over lockdown. I've just like connected with people on Instagram and that kind of thing. I did one last weekend actually for my manager runs this blog magazine called Indie Midlands, and we did a live stream to raise money for Birmingham and Solihull's Women's Aid. So that was fun. I'm considering doing a live stream for to help promote the release of my new single, but that's again, we'll see how it goes. I am organized, but I'm also not, so again, we'll see. There's a lot going on up here, I can't really keep track of it all, but yeah, I don't know, I'd like to get back on stage a bit, but I'm not like desperate to. Obviously there's other people that are much more like live inclined, but with me it's just me, which isn't always as entertaining to watch as a full band. So I guess, yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't mind either way, to be fair.
Yeah, so just kind of going with the flow, seeing how it fit. Yeah, so because do how do you feel about the music industry opening back up again after? Do you think, because I know like today in Wales they've said things are going to be lifted, and there's talks, we could have no social restrictions from June. Do you think this is going to be a good thing for the music industry and like great to be back out there, or do you think it's kind of everyone's going to go back into it and it could cause further setbacks if we have to close again, if there's more lockdowns?
Well, I'm a pessimist in general, which if you've listened to my songs, you will have figured out. But so I'm slightly, how do I put this nicely, cautious of the fact that the whole June thing might be a bit premature, I guess. I don't know, like I am excited, yes, but I'm also not going to get my hopes up because we've been here before, haven't we? So, yeah, but I think it's going to be good. Everyone, even people who never really like considered themselves a music fan, have used lockdown, used music to get through lockdown. So the music industry, or at least its audience, is likely going to be bigger when we come out of it because everyone's going to have missed it. And gigs, just in general, like the vibe and the atmosphere is something that I know I need. So I imagine a lot of people will as well. Even if I'm not playing, I just want to go to one. I don't even care who it is. I just want to go. So yeah, I think it will be a good thing, but I'm also not going to get my hopes up for the June date, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm definitely a cautious pessimist with that. Oh, just knocking my stuff around there. Yeah, no, I do think it's a little bit optimistic at the moment. But
Yeah.
like you say, I think everyone's just so desperate to go back. And I think if anything, like lockdown has exposed people to more bands, to more music, and it's gonna make more people inclined to want to go and discover them and see them live or discover more music, like you say. But yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. I worry about everyone going back out and then we rush inside again. I'd rather like wait that little bit longer and we can all
just
just
a couple more months surely would do it. Like, I don't know. Still, we'll see.
yeah, no, I definitely I feel that. I'm a bit, but yeah, like you say, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Because, the talk of festivals going ahead this year as well. Reading have said they're going ahead, and I know Glastonbury aren't, which I've already mourned. It's fine. I'm over it now. I've moved on. But do you think you want to kind of go down that route and kind of play some more festivals when things open up, or like you say, do you kind of just want to go with the flow, or yeah?
I'd love to play another festival, like whoever will have me, to be honest. Like I'm never gonna say no to a gig unless I'm like really busy or something. But yeah, I'm never gonna say no to a gig. But again, I'm just cautious that we're maybe being a little bit too optimistic about this. So I don't know. I don't want to like throw myself into it to just get disappointed again. So I mean, I'm happy to be pleasantly surprised. I wish, but we'll see.
Yeah, so you're kind of gonna like hold back a bit until things are a little bit
Yeah.
more definite, and then yeah. What would be your dream then, like either venue or festival, to perform at? Is there, if you could, like, if you had the opportunity to perform at any?
It's a very good question. Honestly, I think just any venue that isn't in the UK would be really cool. Like imagine being asked to play in a different country. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That would be amazing. I think that would be a dream come true, no matter how big or small the venue is, to be fair. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I see that. So is that something, you want to kind of explore more in the future, maybe a bit of traveling and kind of taking music around the globe a bit?
I think so. Yeah, I think I've not really been abroad much, so just in general. So I just think that'd be nice, and to be able to do it like for work would also be good. So we'll see. But again, yeah.
Yeah, it would be a bit of like a work and leisure kind of thing, I guess. Nice little mix of both. You get to see the world, but keep working.
Isn't it?
Oh yeah. That, well, when I was about 10 years old, that was what I was convinced I was doing. Don't think that was gonna happen now, but I dreamt. It's all good. So what has been your favorite performance, whether it was at a venue, a festival, or online? What has been, or maybe not even your favorite, but most special, most memorable gig that you've done?
I don't know, to be fair, because I did like a few gigs ages ago that I'm not gonna lie, I can't really remember. Because I was quite young, and then I came to uni, stopped for a bit. But I think the most memorable performance I've done was either Immersed, because that was really cool, or this one time I played my debut single, which, if you don't know, is called Fuckboy, and it was funny. I played it a few days before it came out at an open mic night in Porter's, and I had people at the front just crying with laughter and filming me, and I was like, well, this is great. So that was fun. Yeah, it was amusing.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, no, I've heard that. Because I just love your style and your lyrics. I think, it's like nice, easy listening, like, just have on in your room when you need to, well, when I should be getting on with work, but that's another problem. But do you think, going to uni has been a valuable experience in terms of, your music? And do you think you would have, benefited better from trying without uni, or has it given you a bit of that time to kind of explore before you go into the real world? Just to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think my music would not be the same right now if I hadn't come to uni, and I probably wouldn't have released anything if I hadn't come to uni, because I didn't really know how until I came to uni. So yeah, it was definitely useful. It sort of helped me find, I guess, my style, voice, like presence, that kind of stuff. Sort of taught me how to brand myself. Probably didn't do a very good job of that, but oh well, fine. We're bitter. That's my brand. But yeah, I definitely a valuable experience. I'm doing a master's next year as well, just because I don't want to commit to real life yet. So we're buying ourselves some more time. But yeah, uni, brilliant. I recommend.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm considering the master's route too at the moment. What are you doing your master's in?
It's called Popular Music Practice. I'm moving to London. It's a BIM, so yay.
Cool. Which uni are you doing that at? Is it...
BIM London.
Oh, but yeah. Oh, cool. Nice. So I guess London is kind of like, one of the best scenes you could have.
It's a smart move, I think. Obviously not everyone can do it, but I feel like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna try and do it right. So
yeah, definitely. So would you recommend, to those wanting to get into music and songwriting and not maybe knowing what to do at the moment, would you recommend the uni route to kind of help explore different options first?
yeah, I would. I mean, obviously it's not for everyone. There is the academic side of it. It is hard work. Like, it's not just you can just sing all the time and whatever. You do have to write essays, and you do have to like pay attention and try and understand and do stuff. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do before I came to uni. I just thought, yes, we like music, we can sing a bit, I guess, so let's go do something with it. And it helped me figure out the exact path, well, sort of, because I still don't really know, because I'm indecisive as hell, but the exact path that I wanted to take, which at the moment I think is songwriting. Might change next week, but we'll see. But yeah, I obviously not for everyone, but if you don't really know what you're doing and you are prepared to write some essays, then it's very helpful. I would recommend it, yes.
Yeah, I think that's an important part to remember. It's like when I did performing arts and a lot of people were like, oh, you have to write in this? And you're like, yeah. My brother was kind of like that. He's like, I'm going to do music. I didn't have to write. I'm like, okay. You mentioned earlier about your branding and stuff, and I was a big fan of your website. I thought it was very relatable. I think for a lot of people as well, just like kind of, you don't really know sometimes how to market yourself, I guess, or just to kind of say, because I know I like you created a website for my journalism stuff with just because I was told to, and I've kind of like, have you found that it's something you're getting better at, or you still kind of just you do it because you have to?
Well, at the moment I'm not really doing any projects that require me to do it. I'm just doing it for me, because it's gotten to the point where it's second nature now. Like, at first obviously when you're starting out, sticking to a brand and a certain image is really hard. Like it's really difficult. And I don't understand people that have like all these Instagram like themes and their feed just looks perfect. Like, how do you do that? How do you make your pictures look the same? It's impossible. But yeah, I guess I'm just doing it at the moment because I can and it's useful. And I mean, I'm growing, I guess, so I'm not going to stop it. But we're going to have a little rebrand soon, so we'll see about that. But that's actually coming quite soon, like really soon. So we'll see. But yeah.
Look out for there then. Yeah, no, because I think it's good to, like you say, get your stuff out there, get like a portfolio, but I guess you can kind of feel lost with how to do it, especially like you say, when you see so many aesthetically pleasing feeds and everything, it's quite competitive. Have you found that? Have you found like, there's been a lot of, competitiveness around, or have you kind of not really come across much of that yet?
Well, I try to ignore it, to be fair. Obviously, when you are trying to build your presence, it's really difficult to not compare yourselves to other people. And it's a bit depressing as well, like the whole social media thing and how competitive it actually is, even if you don't notice it. Like I try and stay off my phone as much as possible, but I still find myself on Instagram all the time and I'm like, Emma, stop it. But yeah, it is really difficult. I guess it affects a lot of people's mental health, but I'm like lucky to be able to sort of just ignore that and focus on the good stuff, because within social media and like branding yourself as a local musician, there is so much support as well, and I sort of feel like I've become part of this like South Wales musician community it's just nice, it's friendly, so there's positives and negatives as well, but
yeah, there's South Wales is quite a great place. I think like that was one of the things that drew me there. In Cardiff, it's a city, but it's not overwhelming, so you can get a good community and grow there quite well, but without sort of being chucked into somewhere like London straight away, I feel. Yeah. So, where do you think, if in 10 years time, another cliche question, where do you think you can see yourself in 10 years time?
Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know how people answer these questions. I mean, ideally, I'll be rich, but that's not going to happen. I don't know. Hopefully, employed, I guess, is all I can really say. Probably, I mean, if I can afford it, and I am employed, still in London, because I feel like once you move there and you get into that industry, it's a bit dumb to leave. So I'm going to attempt to stay, I guess. Yeah, gosh, in 10 years I'll be nearly 31. That's terrifying. I don't want to think about that. But yeah, hopefully employed. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know, it's like one of those horrible ones when you realize, oh god, yeah. It's like I was kind of reminded the other day on my 20th, you're halfway to 40. Oh, thanks for that. I really wanted to know. It's not worth thinking about. But yeah, so you're definitely keeping with like, the songwriting and, do you see maybe, is the hope at one point, to have sellout tours, traveling on with them? And
I mean, maybe, yeah. I think what I'm gonna pursue is writing songs for other people. I've never been great at performing. Like, yes, I can sing all right and that kind of thing, but I feel like if you're going to be a performer, you have to have like a certain stage presence and that kind of confidence. And yes, I'm confident, but not in a way that people usually want to watch. So I'm not going to dance around. I can't dance to save my life. I can't really hear out of this ear. I'm a bit broken, it's fine. So I've got really bad balance, which means that I fall over a lot, and it's just generally not a good idea to have me jumping up and down on stage. And as much as, yes, it's fun and I love it, I'm not really bothered if I don't do it, you know what I mean? As long as I'm in the industry, I don't have to be the one that everyone's looking at. I'm not that fussed about that part. So yeah, hopefully writing songs for other people. But I mean, if I do get to go on tour and travel the world, then yay. I'll just try not to fall over on stage too much.
Well, I mean, your Mercer that you did back in January, it wasn't that January, wasn't it? Yeah. decent track. Yeah, no, like that was amazing, and I thought, like you were so great to watch because I think you do have like a real stage presence, and it comes across really naturally. Like I know you may not think.
Yeah, I feel like you never think about yourself though, do you?
I think you'll always be your worst critic. But definitely from my perspective, and I'm sure from many others, you have like a natural presence, and it just looks, natural is the best word, I guess, to you. And so, I think definitely, keeping in front of, keeping on the stage, would definitely be a good thing. So, so where did where can people find you? I know you've got songs on Spotify, but if people want to learn a bit more about you or discover more of your songs, where can you be found?
Well, I'm most active on Instagram, which is at MMA Music with an underscore, because without an underscore was taken, which is really annoying. But yeah, so I'm most active on Instagram. I put most of my stuff on there. I don't really know why. I just sort of picked that one and went with it. Didn't realize that I could do it on all of them, but we're working on it. If you want to find out more about me, there's my website. It's sorry, funny story about my website. It's www.mma.co.uk. Do not type in .com because that takes you to a porn website, which is a whole other thing.
That's what I found so funny when I was reading earlier. I literally laughed out loud. I was like, yeah, good to know that. Good to know.
It's amusing because mma.co.uk was originally a porn site. And then obviously they put the domain up for sale because the previous owner didn't pay it. So I bought it. And in like the 6-hour transition period, I owned a porn website because it hadn't switched over to my website yet. And I was like, I'm going to get arrested. This is actually terrifying. So yeah, there's a fun little fact about my website and what it used to be. But yeah.
There you go. So anyone listening to this, make sure you get it correctly written down.
Okay.
Not .com. Not .com.
Not .com. Oh gosh. Yes.
Oh no, I found that too. So yes, Instagram, all the socials really, and yeah, your Spotify where you are. Same one there, same name as everything else.
Yeah, MMA. Just type it in. I'll be the first one that comes up, I think. Hopefully, if no one's overtaken me yet. But yeah.
You are online, so that's
I'm online. Yeah. Again, don't Google me because porn star. But yeah.
Well, to anyone watching this, you have been warned.
Yes, you have been warned. It's kind of unfortunate because there's the porn star and there's also a YouTuber that's called Emma Mae Jenkins. So she's like huge. And then there's the porn star, and then there's me. But we're working on overtaking the porn star, so that's fine.
Okay, that's top goal priority. Just overtake the porn star.
It's like my life goal. That's where I see myself in 10 years, just above the porn star on the Google search results.
Well, if you've done that, you've done something right. So. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk to me today. I'm sure our viewers and listeners will really enjoy, learning about you, and then hopefully go and check out some of your music, and then, await the secret upcoming album.
Yeah.
Which, we won't reveal anything about, but yeah, no, very exciting stuff to come. So yeah, thank you so much for taking the time, and I wish you every luck and success with your songwriting and your career.
Well, thank you very much for having me.